Okay, hi everyone, here I am again. This time I want to talk to you about CEASE or C's. Basically, CEASE just refers to something called a Special Entry Access Scheme, and it is something that you can apply for through VTAC, and it allows you to signal to a tertiary institution whether you think you've been disadvantaged educationally in your studies. Generally speaking, you would signal that you had either financial difficulties, personal difficulties, or medical difficulties. Having said that, everyone should read the first few slides because everyone should be applying for Section 1. And I'll tell you about Category 1 when we get to it. CEASE is generally speaking something that's been put in place to deal with people who've had long-term disadvantage over a significant number of months or maybe even years. Okay, so if you break a leg, for example, or an arm, which is probably more crucial, or you come down with some sort of illness at the last minute or just before your exams, then you would apply for special consideration under a different scheme. A number of institutions observe CEASE and will give you consideration. Of particular note to Northcote High School people are La Trobe's SALT program, Victoria Uni's PPP program, and RMIT's SNAP program. Now, SNAP has an asterisk next to it because for the top two listed here, you just tick the box and provide the information, and that's all you have to do. But if you want to apply to RMIT through the SNAP program, you have to also let me know because I need to go in and I need to tick a box on your application before the deadline. So each other institution has their own version, and whilst they don't all get covered by CEASE, you can generally find a way of gaining some sort of extra consideration if indeed there has been something going on in your life. Okay, we'll look quickly at the VTAC site. Okay, if you look down here, this tells you the institutions that observe CEASE and the categories. So I'm not going to go over this for the moment. You can Google this and you can look at it yourselves. All right. What does CEASE do for you? It doesn't change anything as such, and I probably should have put a heading in for this. CEASE does not give you the right to or the capacity to not go for interview or to not do the folio. You still have to do all of those things. You must still prepare a folio if you're applying for a course that requires a folio. You must still go for the interview if your course requires an interview. And you must do everything else that is required for that course, and that includes prerequisites. So if you needed physics to get into a particular course and you haven't done physics, CEASE won't help you, okay? You just need to be aware of that. What it can do, however, and it depends on the institution, some institutions boost your ATAR ranking in relation to other people's. Some give you bonus points on your ATAR. Others will give you an offer even though your ATAR doesn't meet the clearly stated when offers are made. Okay, it's a separate application. You submit it in conjunction with your VTAC application and through the VTAC website. Okay, I mentioned categories. Oops, and there's an extra one. Never mind. Yeah, Category 1. Everybody applies for this. It's called General Information, where you tick what gender you are, what ethnic background, you tick something that releases your geographical location in the sense that you tell them where you live. That means that if for some reason a course is let's say there's a course you've applied for and you're unaware of a gender bias in that course that they're trying to address, they might offer you a place based on your gender. If you don't tick Category 1, you don't get that consideration. So everyone ticks Category 1, okay? Category 2, non-English speaking background. You need to read the criteria for that one. It looks fairly clear, but unfortunately for many of our international students, being from a non-English speaking background is not enough because you must also have either permanent residency or be an Australian citizen or a New Zealand citizen. Category 3, 4 and 5 are the three that I want to focus on for this video. Category 3 is related to difficult circumstances. Now, this can be you or someone else. It's generally speaking you, so things have happened to you in your personal life that have made it difficult for you to advance your education the way you should have been able to. It might, however, also mean that someone in your family has been so disadvantaged that this has had an impact on you. Okay, so sometimes if a parent dies, you might also have someone in the family who has a long-term illness, and maybe you spend a lot more time than other people your age doing housekeeping, maybe contributing towards earning money for the household, whatever it is. These are very personal things, and this will unfortunately involve divulging personal information. There's no way around that. And however, that it enables you to have this taken into consideration. I'll just have a little look at some of the criteria, some of the categories. So these are some of the examples of why you might qualify for difficult circumstances, and you should read all of this yourself if you think you've been disadvantaged. And it also tells you which institutions observe or take that into consideration. Okay. Likewise, if you think you have been disadvantaged financially, and again, it has to be related to your education, have a look at what they want to see. Okay, they want to see individual or family poverty, excessive financial obligations, and economic hardship. Then they give you some details on what they mean by that. Okay, what do you need to do? So the two things you need to do, and this is why we're talking about this now, is you need to write an impact statement. And I've already said, it goes without saying, if you have had financial or if you have had hardship in your life that has had an impact on your education, you have already had stress in your life. So you do not need more stress in August. So you should already be thinking about your impact statement. You could spend some time in the next holidays writing your draft impact statement so that you can show it to somebody, have it drafted, and work on it so that you're not rushing to get it finished at the end. You can add to it if your hardship is ongoing, okay? But the quicker you get something on paper and the quicker you start moving on formalizing this, the easier it will be for you. Because, have a look at these things here. A good impact statement will be heartfelt and personalised. It will succinctly outline the important information. That means it has to be short. So it has to be really, really good. Okay? It can't be longer than 2,000 characters, not words, characters. So you have to squeeze in maybe years of disadvantage into a very short passage. Okay, so you need to prepare this in Word, you need to think about it, you need to draft it and redraft it, show it to people who can say, hang on, you've forgotten something, or you're waffling here, or this doesn't really show. What is really, really important is that you must show the context, the date or the dates on which things have happened, and the impact of the disadvantage. If you don't focus on the impact on your education, VTAC again will be disinterested, okay? In addition, you need someone else to help you. So again, you need to do this early because ideally you would give your letter to the person who's helping you, and they would use your letter to ask you questions, to clarify things, and also to formulate what they write so that what they write backs up what you wrote, okay? A statement of support will clearly outline your situation or your condition. It'll include a timeline of how long this has been going on and what, for example, if it's related to absence, what sort of absences, what sort of length absences, over what time period. Okay, it needs to make sure that somebody other than you has made it clear that you have had an impact of a negative nature on your education as a result of what it is you're talking about. And also some evidence where possible. So the other thing you might wish to chase up are medical reports, medical certificates. You have the capacity to upload a couple of documents in support. So you've got your impact statement, your statement of support from somebody else, and you can also upload other documents. Who can help you? Your support person needs to be somebody who knows you well, okay? It can be a staff member, it can be a family member, but it's better if it's not an immediate family member. It should be somebody who's outside your immediate family. It needs to be someone who's known you for the duration or much of your situation and can be clear about the educational impact of your situation. Okay, you need to think about the following things. You need to be explicit. Okay, VTAC's been very clear on this. They are not following up on anything. They're not double checking anything. They won't make phone calls to say, what did you mean by this? You get judged on what you hand in. Okay, so this may well be the most important essay you are going to write this year. So the other thing is be specific. A lot of people write... Now, if for some strange reason, every now and again it occurs that a whole group of people might have the same sort of thing happen to them, and the school, for example, might be writing on their behalf. But you need to make sure that you've told your support people that they need to individualise each response. I've said start early, write drafts, get them checked, okay? This may be the most important essay you will write this year. If you're close to the ATAR that you want and you are close to realising a dream of yours, it would be a shame not to get there because you didn't spend the time working on this application, okay? So really make the effort to do this properly. Enlist the help of someone you trust to help you proofread and fine-tune the application. So who can help you at school? Your sub-school leader or program leader. They generally know you very well. They know what you've been going through. They've already been helping you through this. So they'll be able to document very specifically what's already been done and what still needs to be done and what you have done in order to try and alleviate the problem. Your careers counsellor, that's me. I don't know lots of you very well yet, but I'm good at proofreading and I understand the criteria. So I'm a good person to run through your letters and perhaps to say, look, you know, what about this person, or what about this statement, or all those sorts of things. I can help you with your proofreading and I can help you with the arguments that you need to be presenting. If you've been seeing a member of the student wellbeing team, then perhaps they're the person who would write your statement of support. But again, talk them through the process. Ask them to watch this video. It's important that they actually back up what you said and individually. Now, I've said who can help at school, but obviously if you've been seeing people outside school, they are the people who are most qualified to comment on your situation. So doctors, counsellors, specialists, psychologists. If it's financial help, maybe your parents' tax agent. Again, talk to me about that. If it's financial, who is the best person to demonstrate that? Who is the best person to write a statement? Okay, again, it shouldn't be someone in your immediate family. If you want to know more, you'll need good eyesight. I should have changed the colour, I apologise. Read the entire CEASE section really carefully on the VTAC website, okay? It's listed here. I'll show you the site again. There it is. And if you go back to the home page, there's the address up there. Read every one of these categories. Look at that, providing evidence. We didn't click on that. Don't forget, if you're applying for SNAP, I have to tick a box. So again, don't waste your time and then forget to tell me that you applied. Make sure I have your name on a list and I write it down. Okay, important dates. On August the 4th, we can all register for VTAC, and you then have nearly 2 months to apply. Applications close on September the 30th. The black dates are the main VTAC dates. We don't set those, we can't change those. There are a couple of additional late dates, but I haven't published those. August the 4th, applications open. September the 30th, applications close. October the 7th, CEASE applications close. November 24 to December 22, that's the time in which you can change your preferences. And I should have also mentioned that on December the 15th, you will get your results. Okay, so that little window between December 15 and December 22, you might want to change your preference. Don't do that without checking with me because it's also important not to panic. You might think you haven't got into something, but don't assume that just because you don't have the clearly in ATAR that you're not in. Okay, so just come and talk to me if you're worried about that. The blue and purple dates, August the 5th, you will be attending an assembly where I'll be going through all the bits and pieces that you need for your VTAC registration. We then expect you to start doing that at home by yourselves, and on August the 19th, we'll be checking that you've done that, and or that will be the day you finish doing that. Gives you plenty of time to go back in and change things, but you've got to start having things in place so that all you're doing is editing, not rushing at the last minute. Look, not everyone wants to go to university. Not everyone wants to go to a tertiary institution. So this is designed for those who do. Okay? I make no apology for that with this video. This is for people who want to go to a tertiary institution and who want disadvantage to be considered. For those of you who are looking at other pathways, we'll talk about that as well between now and the end of the year. Okay, thanks.